All systems have been alerted to your presence, sir.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
I hope you know what you're doing.
The Emperor has been expecting you.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the ToyChest, episode 23. Of course, this is, February 10th, 2025. I am your host, Darth Moocher. I've got Scott Solo here.
What's up, nerds?
SKN is on fire. And if you don't know, you should know. The link is in the description below.
Skin is on fire.
Alexander Storm is here.
What's up, gentlemen? What's up?
And speaking of trailblazing the Blitz transmission, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. Tommy is with us.
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Good.
Yo.
Hey, guys, link is in the description below for those amazing channels that you've got to subscribe to. You have to, because it's all one big family around here. And Starlight Digest every Wednesday, live, all the Star Wars news that you can handle and that you can.
And some that you can't.
And a lot of people can't handle it either, too. But yeah, so we're here again, ToyChest, to here talk about all the Star Wars collectibles that we have gathered from around the galaxy. But before we get into that, of course, our Shadow Council is right here. The QR code, scan it, get involved. You want to get involved because things are happening very, very fast and very exciting. So, yeah, Wednesday you'll get a proper shout out. Just want to put that out there for everybody who is interested. But our pit. We have to probably change our podcast to the first. The first, just Starlight Digest presents the first. The battle, the battle of the first commences almost when I submit the StreamYard, live stream. The power of the first commences, and it's exciting. It's awesome. This week, Hal Runner Base had to get in on that. But Commander Bly is not too far behind, and he had some words to say to Outrunner Base. But yeah, so Justin Huber is here. We've got Commander Bly, the power again with Commander Bly, and saying the power of the first is a state of mind, basically, and you're always first, right? So
yes, it is.
So yeah. So you're always first in the lore, the first. Yeah. I love it. Stu John Jedi is here. First isn't always the best. That's true.
You're not first, you're last.
Trevor Ritchie is here, of course. Who else? And Basil G right now. So as everybody is getting off work, eating dinner, sitting down, and wanting to talk some Star Wars collections, Star Wars toys. But some events are happening around the world as we kick off the convention circuit, of course. And Tommy was at, Toyhio
Toy Show. Yeah.
How was that?
Dude, I love going. They actually put that show on 3 times a year. I think the one in June is like the biggest of the 3.
Okay.
They focus a lot on like wrestling guests, professional wrestlers, but they also do one in February and usually in like October. So it was a blast. There's over like 100 vendors. It's
nice.
Vintage toys of any and all brands, anything you could think of, no matter what generation you're from. You're bound to find something that you grew up with. So it's a fantastic show.
Awesome. I wish, California, we just don't have as many, right? As like you would think, like the Midwest and East Coast, right? It's weird. It's just weird.
But we have the recurring, Frankenstein's, which is every twice a week, every week.
We have the Untouchable Comic-Con also, so but whatever. Anyway, Rhino Hobbies checking in, of course. But yeah, I look at the convention circuits every year, and of course, when we start getting into that, the West Coast here, we have the big hits, WonderCon, LA Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, but there hasn't been like these vintage toy conventions like you mentioned. ICC Con, there's the what Alex is going to in Atlanta. What is it called?
That's Toy
Atlanta. See, I mean, and I know like a lot of those things when I start researching them, they start concentrating on vintage or old school toys that really pay attention to the vendors, not just walls of pops. You know what I mean? There's lobby swaps, there's room, trades going on and buying. And I wish there was one out here. Or maybe there is. If anybody has heard of something, let us know. I would love to.
There's a couple.
Is there?
A Robo Toy Show, which
right.
That's how we met up. That's starting to be pretty good. Vintage, modern. The SoCal Joe Show. The West Coast Joe Show. So they're starting to pop up, but yeah, Tommy's in blissful heaven where he's at, man.
Yeah, he's like in. I know it doesn't right because I know like ICC Con isn't far or isn't close to him. It's like
a 10-hour drive, but it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. It's worth it, and you look forward to it. So
yes.
Yeah, but I want to get back into it. I haven't gotten to a bunch of conventions in a long time. I know WonderCon is coming up in March, so maybe we'll probably be walking around that sucker.
WonderCon's in March. Also in March, we've got the Inland Empire Strikes Back, which is the outdoor. Mooch and I went to that last year with an outdoor Star Wars convention. It only had like 2 toy vendors and a whole bunch of like homemade goodies and stuff.
Star Wars
garbage vendors,
Star Wars-y, but like I said, when I see online and I look at all these things, I go, man, I'm so jealous. Like, I want to go. But
I've come to see that I prefer the and call me a hipster, but the mom and pop shop style.
Oh no, I like that better.
Yes, a million times better than any corporate con that goes on nowadays. So you just get better deals, better selections, better experience all around.
Yeah.
That goes with what Alex was saying. We've got the SoCal Toy Show or the SoCal Joe Show, which that's May 4th. It's going to be a combination May 4th G.I. Joe and Star Wars event this year. That one is, I'm friends with all the guys who run that thing, and it is straight up mom and pop, great little show. And then we've got the Robo Toy Fest, which is again really much larger than the SoCal Joe Show, but still it's run by a dude, and it's a lot of fun. So
the same thing too. I forgot about. I just went last month to Toy Depot's Geeking Out. Now that's going to be also in the same amount of time towards the before the summer, but that was actually pretty good. They had. Obviously, Scott Solo knows the Operation Monster for Fresh Monkey Fiction was there. They had a bunch of vendors, Sergeant Slaughter. It was a really good, and it was just nice. It was nice to walk around, see vendors. It wasn't like you guys were saying. I don't like going to like San Diego Comic-Con has been like the least thing I like to go to anymore. Because it's just so corporate and it's so many people packed on.
So many people.
You just can't enjoy yourself. But when you're at some of these smaller shows, meet up with people, meet nice vendors. Some people become friends. works itself out, man.
Yeah. Like I said, I bring this up because I'm starting to see a shift, and I know the shift has been happening for a while. It's not just like I said, convention where you meet stars, there's panels, and all those, the movie announcements. It's like the conventions, like Tommy said, the mom and pop ones, the ones that the creators of these are paying attention to vendors. They're like, look, I don't want 7 of the same vendors here. We're gonna pick and choose, and we're gonna have like something. A show floor should actually be a real awesome show floor for buy, selling, and trading. We're here to move, collections. We're here to buy vintage stuff, find those rare items, right? Like when we go, like I said, even Scott, when we went to like WonderCon and stuff, there was not one vintage Star Wars collector or vendor out there, and there was like 200, 400, 300 vendors, and I was like, I couldn't find one, man. It was all anime stuff and pops, and it's just like they're not paying attention to the show floor. They just want numbers at the door. They just want numbers, right? So I'm glad that the community is stepping up and making these conventions themselves. They're like, you know what? We're gonna do this, and like I said, they're having those lobby swaps. They're having those rooms sell. It goes to 2, 3 in the morning sometimes at the rooms, and you go to people's rooms, and there's just like they open up, like I said, you rare yak faces, rare everything, and I see that shift, and I appreciate that a lot. Like, because when I want to go to convention nowadays, especially now, I want to buy something or find that rare piece, and then bargain shop and all that stuff. And yeah, Comic-Con is for that celebrity panels, those sneak peeks, and it's more or less the nostalgia and the hype of things like the FOMO and stuff, right? Yeah. You're not really getting something out of it, but just being there and saying you're going is half the battle sometimes with those bigger guys.
Rick Jones, come down to the San Jose Super Toy Show next month, dude. That is up, and that is 5 hours and 47-minute drive.
That's nothing.
Stop skipping the jump, Scott. That's all it is.
Here I am. That's nothing, Scott. You could drive because backseat goes along. So I might have to check it out.
Might have to drive up there.
Absolutely.
It's March 1st through, let me see, right here, March 1st through the 2nd. So,
okay.
Yep.
John Graber, the Space Jockey's checking in. He went to MegaCon. What a nightmare. Never again. ICCC.
ICCC, baby.
I heard a lot of things about that, especially on Bliss Transmissions. I mean,
I never stopped talking about
it. Make you a partner at this point. It's like sponsored by.
Dude, it's like a 3-day long nonstop, like
that's what I hear.
Giant plastic crack drug deal. Like that's just all ICC Con is. Yeah.
And if anybody's interested in like the Toy Federation, if you guys have check out the Toy Federation on YouTube, they're North Carolina, I think, toy show or shop that they run their own vintage toy con or retro toy con, and it's that model is taking off, and I see that model and ICCC con, those are those convention models, and that's where I kind of want to encourage it and have everybody check it out. And if you see one pop up, go and support those kind of shows, because they're more fun. They're just more fun, you get more out of it, especially like I said, more of a collector to collector show.
It's because the people running it know what they want because they're part of the community. It's not a focus group telling you what you think they want. It's
right.
You
know what you want when you're the one running it.
Exactly.
That's cool.
One of us.
Hal Runner said in there that he do people haggle? He's a haggler. I know, like at Frankensons, there is no haggling. The price you pay is the price you pay.
Basically, a vintage department store. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. And you are paying a premium for everything.
And they don't care.
Although I will tell you, I was there 3 weeks ago, and the first time I was able to haggle with somebody.
Really? Well, you got someone on a good day.
Very first time, I thought there was a no haggle policy between all the vendors, but I think it's getting a little cutthroat now.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
Yes, dude, John. Toy Federation is great. Yeah, I'm actually been talking to those guys a little bit about Tashi Station stuff. So
cool.
Yeah. But their channel is so good. It's just it's like a reality show for toy collectors.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. The whole buy sell trade thing is awesome. But well, anyway, I think we'll have to add that into our talk. When we do this stuff, more about conventions and how things are to get that thumb on the pulse and what's happening out there and because again, like I said, some of us are stuck on different coasts, Midwest, and stuff like that, and I don't get to see. And a lot of times it's road trip all the time, and they like to see things hit a little bit more local and get out there. So
Maybe it's time to start our very own.
let's do it. Let's do it.
We know enough people. We know enough people, enough vendors, and everything that we actually could have a really cool show, like a really good, focused show. Just got to find the right venue, the right location and venue, and
we tried to have one up here. We tried to have one. It was the it was the High Desert Comic-Con, and it was at the fairgrounds. And it's like, all right, that's cool. And they advertised nowhere. Yeah, and it was a kerfuffle.
5-0 first showed up for like 5 minutes. We're like, we're going home, and they left. And like they had like these. It was just a great idea, but then no execution.
Right?
Yeah, I hear you. But that's why it's like you get everybody together on that same page and you get that execution right. I think you can have a really good hit on your hands. And like I said, if you're not in there to like, we're just going to do a convention just to make money. No, we would convention to bring in focused, buy, sell, and trade, or just collection base. And I think that's where the importance is. As long as it pays for itself, I think it. Yeah, pay attention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We got Lucy QLF checking in.
Luffy.
Did I say Lucy? I'm sorry.
You did.
Lucy.
Luffy.
Sorry. All right. Well, let's get to toy news. We're going to start because I know Tommy's got some juicy stuff. So we're going to start with the vintage collection and then get into like what everybody's here for, the Black Series. I'm kidding. I kid.
Get the appetizers out of the way. The Happy Meal toys. Come on, Scott. Get the Happy Meal toys rolling.
Why am I taking all the abuse here?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, Scott let us know before we got on here that today is the 3-year anniversary of the Razor Crest HasLab being in our hands.
That's right. Happy third birthday, baby.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 years ago today, this bad boy arrived at the house, and I started putting it together and filming our little toy review on it. And Mooch, this is the one that you got too. So
I have it. I'm staring at it right now. I still like it. Yeah,
I have a Razor Crest. It's a pile of dirt in my backyard. My Razor Crest.
Exactly.
All that was left is the spear. That's all that was left.
And the knob.
The knob.
And it didn't even come with that. You know what I mean? Nope. It didn't even come with those. Well, the knob it did because Grogu had
yeah.
That the knob is going to be like the vintage Millennium Falcon training ball like 20 years from now. That little piece of plastic, you can't 3D print those. So
you can't.
But vintage collection. Let's go.
Other updates we've got. All right, so Anakin, Indara, and the Clone Trooper have been found. I found them at Walmart, so they are out and about. Walmart and GameStops have been hitting. There's no information yet. I haven't seen anything about them hitting Target, but I'm sure it's just a matter of time once they get rid of all of their Cobb Vanth figures. Once they get those out of the way. I did get notification today, and I kind of shifted things around here. The Dr. Evazan Chopper in disguise, the pilot, Snowtrooper, and Aura Singh. Those are all coming in the same case. So it is a full case wave coming of 8 figures. I believe the pilots, I think it's the pilot and Aura Singh are 1 per case. Everybody else is 2 per case.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, which is odd because I also remembered that Dr. Evazan is also a reissue, just like Aura Singh. Right. Those should be the ones that are individually packed, not the others. So we'll see, but no other information on that. I did get a weird notification from Hasbro Pulse regarding the Droid 4-pack. It was just telling me though that at first it looked like a shipping notification. I'm like, what the hell? I just pre-ordered these. Yeah. But no, that was just a notification that it's coming a little bit sooner than it was originally noted. So.
We got all our Rex notifications probably at the same time because I got a Rex one too. Yeah.
Yeah. So otherwise, I mean, vintage, other than that, there was a leaked image at a convention somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was, but it looks like we're going to be getting an all new Land Speeder vintage collection. Now, This is the second time we've received a vintage collection land speeder. The first time it was actually a resculpt of this guy. This guy right here is from 2002. And it was longer. It had a lot of extra special features to it. It was really cool. And then they did a repainted version of it for the vintage collection. Came in the vintage collection packaging and whatnot. Now, a difference in this one, it looks like this one might actually have a place where you can stick C-3PO's legs.
Okay.
As you see, 3PO is, sitting down there, and in the original, that there is no space for bent knees there, right? You just sit him straight in. So it looks like his knees are bent there. So I'm kind of digging that.
A little more scaled, maybe. Yeah,
exactly. I'd also really appreciate it if there was a way to kind of lock R2 down in place,
right?
Because he just kind of rolls around whenever he's back there. So
the funniest scene in my as a kid grew up watching Star Wars was the R2 just laying on the speeder like that. It's just funny. It's just funny.
Yeah, but otherwise, I mean, it's got some really good detail just in that image right there. It looks good.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll see how it turns out.
Looks like a definitive land speeder coming finally.
Yeah,
cool. They got to get the paint right. Sometimes it's too orangey, like too orange or whatever.
Yeah.
So a little
like
bit
a
more
rust
duller.
color.
Yeah. So that was in I can't remember where it was also, but because it was on a poster reveal, and that was like a shot on there, and everybody was like kind of eagle-eyed that and found it, which is really cool.
It was at, and
how runner. That's the same. It's so funny. It's like I'm not a big fan of OT, but all these are cool. No, I'm a huge fan of OT, but they are cool. But
Toy Fair Germany. So that was in
Germany.
Toy Fair Germany.
It was a poster.
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
it's
pretty cool.
Is that a new 3PO? Was that a new?
Yeah, 3PO
I
heard that might be.
It kind of looks like one. It doesn't look very good. If you take a real quick look at it, great paint job if they stick to it.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
3PO, I don't know. Yeah. It's just that there
maybe it's just
once they stopped the vac metallized version of 3PO, it just it has not looked right ever since.
Dull gold plastic that they use, right? Like that injection mold plastic, or the gold instead of, like you said, the real shiny.
I think the last time we had the real shiny, and he also had bendable knees, it was I want to say the 30th anniversary edition, where he came with the Ewok chair too, so you could actually bend his knees, and he was still vac metallized. So those are still out there. As a matter of fact, I've got a couple of them from that collection I bought. See if you can find them. Those are a great version of C-3PO. It looks better than this thing. This thing almost looks like it was almost looks like a pre-release C-3PO made up. I don't know. It doesn't look right.
Right.
Yeah, he's got a belly on him.
Yeah, how right? Like, so you would think Luke would be coming with that land speeder, but maybe a new like I said, maybe the 3PO would be the packed-in figure.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, since it's a retooled or whatever. So
looking forward to getting this happening. That's right.
So funny.
So there's been a lot of people complaining about the vintage collection Luke and the color of his boots, because they're really super light.
Really?
They are very light colored boots, but that is one of the colors of Luke's boots. It's not always super dark tan, right? As a matter of fact, I had actually pulled an image. I thought I pulled it in here for us to view, but I guess I didn't. I'll see if I can find it. But the colors of Luke's boots are accurate. So everybody knows they are accurate. Yeah.
Gordon Skolsky is checking in. What is up, man? He says, every time I see a new vintage collection drop, I kind of regret not collecting years ago. I'm with you on the vehicles. Like, I honestly, the figures
always got to be a naysayer.
The figures are horrible, in my opinion. They don't look good. The paints are always horrible. There's like some are good and some are really not good, but the vehicles are awesome. Like, I really regret the ad. Really regret.
Can't help yourself.
Yeah, you can't.
I wasn't even joking. I'm just saying, like, some of them are like, whoa, like that's
some of them. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
again, I will say that Mr. Solo has, brought epidemic on my household where I've started to buy some of the vintage stuff. But here's the thing. The good thing about starting a line late is that you're kind of not like a completist. You're gonna pick and choose
Yeah.
the things that you
Mhm.
want, and you
Yeah.
really want them, and they're gonna hang out, and so you don't feel the pressure of getting everything. So I think
Yeah.
that's the way it works in starting a line late.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
As you can see here, his boots are the accurate color in the new vintage collection figure. So that is something that people were complaining about, that the Black Series version are the accurate color, which they're a darker brown, and there are a couple of different variations of Luke's boots in the movie. So there you go. Yeah,
Just like Han Solo's shirt, right? Some was yellow, some was white. It's just like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on what edition of Star Wars you're watching, I guess.
Well, and to
Seriously.
Alex's point too, when you start a line later, you're also kind of skipping over all of the parts where the company's trying to work out the kinks.
Yes.
Of
Yes.
the line, whether
Yes.
it be paint apps. Like if you are in Black Series now, you're in like the golden era.
Yes.
Whereas like a lot of those figures from when it started, articulation's not great. The face paint apps especially are not good. So you're really getting into the best of the best.
Very
as
good
quality
point.
right now.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a huge point.
And it's the same with vintage collection too. Where right
look
now
at-
in vintage
yeah.
collection, they are
Mhm.
superior to what they've ever been. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah. No, I that's a good point. Yeah, you're skipping over the fact that we bought 7 Farm Boy Lukes at this point. Now you can just buy that one and be okay with it, right? Until the 8th one. So okay, let's switch gears to Black Series. I'm going to kick it over to Tommy because he said literally 30 leaks.
Wow.
And I'm going to count them.
There's too many leaks to even keep track of them. I got to give a shout out to Lukeness Monster on YouTube. He's had some anonymous account has been feeding him information. I shared one of his lists a couple weeks ago. He's got another list, and then he's got a third list coming up. Some of these figures are not projected till like 2027.
Wow.
So this is literally like the next 2 years of Black.
That's why it's believable.
Allegedly this year, we've seen factory leaks for a potential Mace Windu and Darth Sidious 2-pack from Revenge of the Sith with a new expressive Mace Windu head and a brand new Palpatine expressive head with like angry looks. Also to be, in this rumor list comes the other Jedi from that scene, the ones that get cut down right away. So Kit Fisto, Aegon Kolar, and Saesee Tiin are allegedly coming, along with some more clone troopers from Revenge of the Sith. You're looking at some new characters, some more from the Mando and Grogu movie, like Sigourney Weaver's character. Colonel Bishop is allegedly getting a figure as well. What's up, Scott?
So, here we've talked about it in the past, right? Marvel Legends, whenever Marvel Legends drops a wave of figures, it is a themed wave, right? How perfect would it be for it to be the Darth Sidious, the attack on Darth Sidious wave, right?
That'd be sick.
Each figure comes in this case, and each figure comes with some sort of piece of like his desk.
That's what I was just going to say.
And something with like a clear stand to make him like twist in the air, come at him.
Here's the thing. I would buy that. I would buy that 100%. Just to recreate, like I said, but if it was individual, like I said, I know like sometimes like Tommy said, like again, speculation, this is rumors and all that stuff.
Right.
But like I said, a Mace Windu, does it justify buying another Mace Windu just for an expressive face?
Right.
It's solo, we just got a really good
arm. Yeah,
like a burnt sleeve or something like that. Where you can
I buy that.
I mean, it's but we don't have Saesee Tiin, so that would be good. We have a Kit Fisto, and so I would be picking.
Yeah, we have a Kit Fisto.
Yeah, but if it came with like that build, Emperor's office kind of, that would be
right.
That would be cool.
That'd be sick.
Or Tashi Station Emporium for your set needs. Maybe there's something in.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one way to find out, right?
That's right.
But I mean, Mooch, there's one that this other set. This list was a little bit smaller than the last, but the other set that he was talking about, there's apparently they're doing a New Hope, brand new 3PO, brand new A New Hope R2, Ben Kenobi. and a
Right.
couple other characters, Han and Chewie, but we already kind of knew Han and Chewie
Yeah.
were coming. But it sounds like they're going to do redos, brand new head to toe of the entire A New Hope main cast. So
You know, I always said, like I
Alright.
said, when we get into our talks about how to get into a collecting
Mhm.
collection or when to start, Hasbro has been good about this, about
Mhm.
giving us or just on that repeat. And again, you know, they kind of hit all the marks, right? Say, all right, here's
Yes.
a figure that we've done before to get new people in, but there's also the definitive for the old school collectors, and here's the packaging differences for those mitten box, right? So I mean,
Right.
they are kind of aware of the needs of reissuing a character in that sense, right?
Yeah.
Like hitting the times, and then you make it a little different because like there's collectors who don't want to collect the same figure, but
Exactly.
if you're a mitten box collector, sometimes the selection doesn't matter. It's just as long as it's a different
Yeah.
variation, different sculpt or whatnot, right? I've
Yeah.
always said you got to have the Fab Four up there all the time. You got to have Darth Vader, Stormtroopers, kind of available or just in sets, in packs, and stuff. And it's the only way Star Wars is going to live beyond, you know, as long as they, like I said, they start focusing on some of those background characters with these, for that flesh out. You know, again, it's that perfect storm of selecting for new collectors, existing collectors, and people who want to get back into it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and then just to wrap up the list, basically it's just various characters. Carson Teva is on the list.
if
Carson
he's on the
Teva,
list,
Black
at
Series.
least there's a leak or a rumored anything,
Yeah.
and that'd be great.
Yeah, Carson
You know.
Teva he's going to be marketed as Mando and Grogu movie.
Okay.
I don't care as long as
And,
he's there.
Yeah, him obviously, because we already knew Zeb was leaked to be coming,
Right.
And then the other ones being another set of Andor season 2 figures, kind of fleshing out more of the season 1 cast and giving some of them are head scratchers though. Like I wonder how much of it is Lucasfilm just telling them you need to do these characters. Like they're doing another Luthen Rail because the first one peg warmed pretty hard.
Yeah.
So you know,
I
giving
wonder
us
if he'll
another one.
be. I wonder if he'll be like the curator version,
Right.
right? Where it's the longer
Oh,
hair
wig
and
and
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Luthen
that-
Rail fabulous in parentheses.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I dig it.
lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
if we're talking about pack-ins too, I mean, he could come with some like stuff from his store, right? He
that'd
could
be
come
sick.
with
That'd be
stones with the hands. and
Yes,
stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Which I'm going to turn the talk into something in that vein of like Star Wars really needs to take advantage of a beefed up figure, especially if you're going to reissue it or have, like I said, a Luthen not peg warm, right? You know, but thank you, Tommy, we're going to keep our ears close to the ground on that as things, you know, happen. I know, like I said, I think Hasbro and Lucasfilm are biding time for Celebration because they said they're a major presence in Celebration Japan, and they said that. So there is that. I think they're just kind of like, hey, look, I know people are going to be, you know, chomping at the bit. They're going to be like really anxious, but you know, we've got to give them these little, you know, breadcrumbs till Celebration. Again, it's around the corner. It's not that far away, and I think that's where pre-orders are going to really hit us, right? You know. So the Marvel Legends team dropped, and SKN did an amazing episode about this reveal. They are doing the Maximum series, right? The Maximum figure series, and it goes into like their core characters, and it's almost like a definitive figure, definitive Spider-Man with all the webbings and hands and head sculpts, or you know, maybe not all of them, but the ones for that particular era of Spider-Man, whatever. And and a lot of talk was like, could that be coming to Star Wars? Like, could that concept be coming to Star Wars? And it kind of makes me wonder, you know, like I said, we were talking about character selection, right? And like, you know, these are peg warmers, but why reissue another Emperor Palpatine when we just got a really good episode 3, like probably the best figure that they've gotten, you know, in a long time. So, but his desk or accessories or different hands, or, you know, it comes with both the face, you know, has the Emperor's face, and then Senator's, you know, Yeah, Palpatine's face. So that with head swaps, you know what I mean? So take advantage of this. And this Thursday, we're going to find out the price on those maximum figures. So that's going to determine a lot of excitement coming up or down with those, by the way, too.
Add $10 and there's your Star Wars price.
Yeah, basically. You're right.
Yeah, $10 and half the accessories.
Yeah. Well, if they were, like I said, if they were going to do this, some sort of like definitive, maximum series for Star Wars, I think it could be a very exciting thing to rebrand the 6-inch line, or even if they did it with vintage, or that like how Black Series was supposed to be, right? That was supposed to be like the really good sculpt with everything of high price tag, and it's like it's like here's the Vader, definitive. And like Vader comes with 3 different heads and 3 different chest plates you can maybe pop out for a different movie. And so it's like here's that figure $70-$80 and there it is, and I know that Scott, Alex, you guys were talking about how like this is like Hasbro's answer to the oversee the third party stuff, right? The Mafex, SH Figure Arts, all those high end figures is almost like because Hasbro did say, look, we're going to combat the resellers, meaning so they reissued a lot of figures that were going for high price tags. They reissued them plus a new sculpt, and that kind of drove that market back to a normal ish. Whereas like I don't need that. I got a better Darth Maul. I got a better, Luke and Dagobah, where those figures were high. So is this their way of also cornering that market too, of like trying to bring in those, the other guys, the third party stuff, and to go like, all right, well, if you guys are going to pay $80 to $100, well, here's our version, but our version is of course licensed. You got the packaging deal. It's it could be cool. It could be really cool because
the middle ground, for a domestic version of what you have with SH Figure Arts and Mafex, and especially with Mafex, their prices just keep going up and up and up, and now they're starting to like draw back on. I don't know if you guys saw the Mafex Forlom. He has like one extra pair of hands, one blaster, $100.
Yeah,
and it's like now you're starting to lose me because I love Mafex figures, but they're starting to get a little bit too pricey. So I think this is a perfect market for Hasbro to jump in and get that happy medium.
You could look at it like Hasbro's version of a Hot Toys figure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of the thumbnail I made today was pieces of a Hot Toys figure, all put together. And what would an ultimate Darth Vader look like, right? What would that look like? Would it have lighting effects to it? Would it have just the alternatives, head pieces and chest pieces?
Right.
Because you've got at least 2 different variations, right? You've got a New Hope Vader where the cloth goes over the shoulder pads, and Empire Return of the Jedi where it's under the shoulder pads, right? Yeah. So they could even do it that way too if they wanted to get.
Here's the thing,
really
too, right?
Jerky about it.
Yeah. Here's the thing too. The ones who want these displayed, you would buy multiple of these.
Yes, you would.
Maximum, because again, if this is the definitive Empire Strikes Back Vader versus the definitive A New Hope, you're not going to just sit there and swap them out. You're going to buy 2 of them, right? So, well, some people, at least there's that people who will do that. I will, especially Vader. And then have one with the damage challenge. I mean, you can have all these variations and make more money that way, but also provide the fandom with the accessories that we've been clamoring for. I mean, how many we want hands? We want extra heads and hands. Hands are like probably the most requested thing I've seen for Black Series.
Heads and hands.
Like force hands, force push hands. It's simple, because not every figure could be expression like this.
Exactly.
It's just boring. You know what I mean?
So what was the name of the line where they came in and they did the hyper reel?
I knew exactly where
hyper reel that failed after 2 figures, right? Too expensive, a different scale. They weren't even that great. They were very rubbery, right?
It deteriorates.
Deteriorates, exactly. That's where this should have gone, right? This maximum figure. They shouldn't have invested in another. Here I go on my rant again about alternative scales. They shouldn't have done that, and they should put their money behind the product that sells, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, here's the thing with the Maximum series. There was a a retailer in Mexico that actually had the price point put up. Now, of course, it was in pesos, so we had to do the math and everything
Right.
back here, the United States, but it was at a $60 price point.
Okay.
So that's a good indication that we're looking probably under $70 here US
Yeah.
for that figures. And I think I think like Scott said, it makes sense now because again, Mafex, Mayfex, whatever they call themselves, they're killing the market. When you look at like one of those with their presentation, their boxes, the hands, everything says it's premium.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're
You can
amazing.
just
They're
immediately
amazing.
see it.
Yeah.
Black Series or whatever they want to call it, the Infinite Series or whatever, they definitely could use that in Star Wars. I don't know for G.I. Joe would that work or any other toy line, but Star Wars, yeah, that's the middle ground.
That's the Star Wars is where everybody sees
Yeah.
they're the weak link in that accessory game or that ultimate game. I think Classified nails it. I mean, they give you too many accessories sometimes, but
Yeah.
yeah. Joey
But-
checking in. What is up, man?
The cool thing about G.I. Joe, though, even if they throw out, half a dozen accessories or a dozen accessories, they give you something to put it all in.
It
right?
all fits on the figure.
It all
has somewhere to go. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, I mean, again, we're speculating because of like I think it's going to work really well with Marvel Legends, and I think if the price point is at that where it's not Mayfix prices or SH Fig Art prices, I think it'll take off. Like because I was sitting there going like I might want that Maximum Spider-Man because it looks fantastic, and I always like definitive figures. I mean, just the fact, and I love the fact that it's a comic book version.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, and not a movie version.
And that looks premium to me. Like that.
Yeah, it does.
If I didn't know it was Hasbro, I wouldn't even assume it's Hasbro. It looks so premium.
Yeah.
He really did a good job of borrowing what, like I said, the overseas market's doing. And this is the definitive Todd McFarlane version. Have you seen those poses? Like none of the other characters ever got you to like when Spider-Man was at his height. But they did this, and I was like, the minute I saw this, I'm like, shit, I'm gonna probably have to stop myself from buying 2 of these.
That's well, like I said, I don't collect Marvel Legends. I have some, but I don't like go out of my way and collect Marvel Legends, but like they were coming out with it was like a couple years ago they started with a different kind of like a definitive thing like that, like Wolverine, Captain America, Thor. They had like the really cool packaging figures, and I thought about getting those as base figures, and but I stopped myself. And now they're coming back with like this type of like a stuff, you know what I mean? Where I won't buy 2 of these, but I would buy one. Like as somebody who doesn't buy Marvel Legends, I would go for it. And then of course my mind immediately goes to, can this be translated to Star Wars, especially Black Series? And I've said this before, where I think that Black Series in general needs a rebrand. It needs a refresh. It needs a reboot. It does. And with Tommy's saying what those leaks are, it seems like it is kind of doing like a soft reboot, meaning they're going to throw out some core characters, maybe not go deep, you know what I mean? Maybe not get a new Kit Fisto down the line unless it's a part of a 2-pack or whatever, right? But having those core characters and rebranding, I think is great. And I do believe that they should rebrand the name too. Like Black Series used to mean premium. And now I think Black Series is standard, and now they could do a premium. I
gotta share this too. I mean, come on, a Spidey that can,
that's
great.
Like Alex said, the McFarlane pose, right? Like,
wow,
good lord, that looks incredible.
Awesome. I mean, like I said, dude, like. I don't know how I could pass up again, depending on price point, which we'll find out Thursday, and that will give them I think if it's successful, I think they might do that to other lines that they have.
I think honestly with Black Series 2, you have a lot of characters there we go. I think you have a lot of opportunity with some figures that could use some retooling and updates already, and then like Vader could really use some updated legs. His legs have not been updated since the beginning of the line, and honestly, another one I think of, especially since I just got the Hot Toys of this character recently, is Jango Fett. Black Series Jango
Ooh.
Fett hasn't been updated since 2015.
Right.
And
Yeah,
not only
that's
does
a
he
crime.
desperately need an update, I could think of 20 different accessories right off the top of my head you could throw in the box with Jango Fett and call it a $50, $60 figure.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something
Absolutely.
people would be in on.
Yeah, and the thing is too, and this goes to Hell Runner Base's comment. He hopes the Black Series keeps some sort of baseline offering like what they have now. I don't need all the extra stuff. And that's the point. I don't need, like I said, I don't even think what the Maximum Series is doing either. They're not doing a whole. They're taking it like the icons.
Replacing it.
Yeah. They're taking the icons and making one or two a year, maybe, or 3, 4 a year. And Star Wars could do that same thing. I said, especially like I said, Vader, or like I said, a Boba Fett or Jango Fett, something where it's like that. No, I don't think that they should rebrand it to this extreme, $70 line. It's like you keep their baseline, but then you have. It's almost like what they're doing to Deluxe, but to us, the Deluxe doesn't do anything other than more plastic. It's just a bigger figure, $10 more, and I think they could go a lot further with it. There needs to be some sort of shift in that. Like I said, it gets a little stale sometimes with some of the same figures coming out again. If they're gonna rebrand, Empire Strikes Back, Luke.
Absolutely, 100%. There's a character that definitely needs an update.
Think about it. Even if they could figure out how if his jacket could come off, and you have your Dagobah Luke, and you can have your Bespin Luke, and then you got the back. I mean, like I said, a $70 accessory, definitive Empire Luke, right? That I don't know how they could, because Dagobah Luke is iconic. But anyway, in that vein, a Grievous. Oh my God, yeah, Rick Jones.
Grievous.
I know that Tommy did say a Grievous is leaked or rumored to be
for TVC.
That's
for
right.
TVC is getting a new General Grievous.
Yeah, but
all he got is revenge.
Touche.
But if one line gets it, the other line.
I mean, Black Series is desperately. We need a new Grievous. Like, we need a better Grievous than the one we had. That sucker does not stand.
He's underscaled. He doesn't stand up.
Yeah. No pegs in his feet. No. Come on, I can't even help.
Really? I never got that one. I am not a fan of Grievous. So
really, what?
Yeah.
Why?
I know.
I like
shocking,
Grievous,
right?
No way.
I like the animated version of him, but I don't. I don't like the Revenge of the Sith version.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, he didn't. He went out way too weak. Anyway, that's for a Wednesday show. Then talk about like, how right. Mine is. I have to oppose him and lean him against like other figures or other stuff like but you can't really see it. But I know he's leaning. Like I know what it took to make him because I want him. There's certain poses that you can't make him stand unless it's like it's very fragile. Anyway, there's some desperately needed figures that need work, but Hasbro, like I said, Hasbro has to juggle this, man. They have to retool these things, they have to bring out line, they have to, it's a hard job, man. And you really think about it, like they got to please everybody, or they try to please everybody, at the same time bringing in new people, making the old ones please, rebranding, getting that name out. If Star Wars proper in the live action and cartoon medium is starting this whole line of like, we're going back to the movie theaters, we're going back to the roots. I heard some things, again, this is Wednesday talk, but they're going back to like the creators that really were gung-ho about it in the first place. I don't know, there's some understanding of where it could have went, and maybe they're trying to start over.
That'd be cool.
Stu
John Jedi, his Grievous falls over if he sneezes in the next room.
Yeah. Bandai's Grievous. I have Joey's Bandai Grievous. I think I still have it, Joey. I still have it. Boba and Jango. I mean, we don't have a young Boba, but Boba Jango's head 2-pack.
That's terrible.
You went dark, man. Dark.
Cold-blooded.
It took me a second. I'm sitting there going, why would he need to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I get it.
Well, in the Attack of the Clones action figures, whenever they first came out, young Boba came with Jango's helmet. That was one of the accessories that he came
Everybody
with.
look inside.
And it wasn't until the movie came out that I'm like, oh, that's dark.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
That's
I had a
so dark.
Jango Fett figure that had a magnetic like head
Yes,
to the body
yes.
system.
I had that. Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
could pull off his head.
It came out it came out like 2 months before the movie came out.
Yeah.
And I ripped him all open. I tore it open and freaking his head comes off. And I'm like, really?
And I thought mine was broken. I go, it's a magnet. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So messed up.
Just like I found out how Darth Maul dies in episode 1.
Yeah.
The day-
Qui-Gon's noble end.
Oh yeah, Qui-Gon's death. I was driving around blasting the soundtrack. I just got the sound, opened it for that day. It was like premiere Phantom Menace. Driving out, and I happened to look over and I was reading the track list. And this is like hours before we're seeing the movie, and it said Qui-Gon's funeral, and I was like, I was like, son of a bitch! Like it was just, it was not cool.
When I was in high school, make you feel old. When I was in high school and The Force Awakens came out,
Jesus Christ!
Oofa!
My one friend before the movie came out, you guys know Kahoot, right? We've done a Kahoot on this channel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, on Kahoot, he named himself Han Solo Dies without knowing that Han Solo was going to die. So then when the movie came out, people were actually trying to beat him up in school the next day because they were like, "You spoiled the movie."
I saw a meme of someone driving around that says Han Solo dies.
Dude,
The Force Awakens.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Star Wars Collective checking in. Hey, thank
What's
you for
up?
joining us. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. Yeah, Black Series needs a new Jango Fett. Absolutely. To echo Tommy. Yeah. Stu John, does anybody have the original Mace Windu that came with the blue lightsaber?
Yep,
I do. Yes.
Wow. Vintage collection, I believe, right?
No.
It was actually
Oh, it was?
Phantom Menace preview figure. It was the Phantom Menace preview figure that was mail away. So they had
Oh,
the mail away
yeah.
Mace and Stap. They had the battle droid with the Stap.
This goes back to my
Yadi Mundi had a purple
collection.
lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes. Oh, yes. I remember. That was my first collection. Power of the Force 2. Good old days.
Ah.
Yeah, Commander Blight, the list of the Phantom Menace soundtrack, probably thousands of times. It was better than the movie at that time.
It was.
And now I mean, it's
It's grown. It's grown.
It has grown big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I still
my
don't
favorite
think
prequel.
Oh no.
What?
Episode 3, dude.
The Phantom Menace is my favorite prequel.
Yikes.
Yeah. You know, this is sometimes when we block Scott from view, this is
That's fine. That's fine.
he's it's okay to be wrong. It's cool. It's like I think it's trendy to be wrong these days. I don't know what is it. So, no, I'm kidding.
Maybe that's hot take.
Hot take, yeah.
There you go. It's a Scott take.
The Scott take, yeah. Yeah, especially when we get into our list of favorite like Star Wars lists and stuff, it goes all over the place. But
ever evolving.
Lot of hazing.
And Attack of the Clones is always on the bottom.
Hey, that'd be cool. The arena
Yeah.
beast would be sick and
Oh,
black.
that would
I
be
mean, how about a Black Series Reek? The Reek was my very first Star Wars toy. I wished I'd keep it. You know, it would be great as a HasLab to have all three of those: the Reek, the Acklay, and what's the other one?
The Nexu.
The Nexu.
Thank you. As a HasLab, that would be awesome. I don't know how much that would sell or anything, but that would be.
Dude, I've got the arena set.
Yeah.
You helped me move it, man, and it's like this big, and it's all three of the beasts with the different with all the characters in it.
Yeah,
and that thing is massive. I can't imagine what the size of that thing would be. Yeah, for a HasLab maybe. That's a good point, Hal Runner.
Yeah.
It would be a show thing, right? People would make their arena and put it into one of those shows like we talked about, like those vintage toy shows, and as a centerpiece just to go look at. Wouldn't be anything that you would.
$400 piece, easy.
Four. Oh yeah, it's
Easy
Arena
400.
beast. Yeah, 350 or 4. Yeah, probably.
Well,
Honestly, probably about the same as the Rancor.
Yeah,
but if you include, say, Padme, and you include, but it's the
pillars,
pack, right?
everything,
It's
yeah.
the three pack. You get the
Pillars,
pillars, Padme,
Yeah.
Anakin, and Obi-Wan. Because I mean, they're all. Padme gets all jacked up, and that's so she could have her torn up shirt in the back. And
that's right. That's right. I still think there is room for a Build-A-Figure concept in the Black Series or even Vintage Collection,
Absolutely.
you know. And like I said, Accolade would be awesome. I mean, they can do it. They you know, besides the
did
body.
You guys hear? Did you hear that the Hasbro Black Series team actually like seriously considered at one point doing a 6-inch scale AT-AT and selling it for $800?
Really?
Yeah, and it would literally be 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
standing up.
Good
Yeah.
Lord, have mercy.
well, here's the thing: they
thought
sell
about it.
Jesus.
the Lego version's $1,000. They sell $1,000 Lego sets, which sell out.
True.
I mean, they're sell out.
Yeah.
How much was that Millennium Falcon? That it was $400 or $500, Scott. The Vintage Collection.
Yeah, the latest edition that they did of it was
Yeah.
$350, I think.
High price items like that, like we see it with all the like Mattel Creations with the Eternia playset.
Yeah.
Where you know they're Super 7 with the the Cobra bait. I mean, yeah, the high end stuff. I mean, if there's a demand for it, then I'd say yeah. Like even though that might have been like, well, 1 out of every 1,000 collectors might attempt to buy something like that, without a
You know
payment
what though?
plan.
I think that's my thing with Black Series collectors though, and
Yeah,
I want to make a
yeah,
video about this on my channel because I keep
yeah.
talking to people about it. I don't know why Black Series collectors get sticker shock on anything over $24.99. When the Stap came out with the Battle Droid last year, I can't tell you how many comments I saw. Well, that shouldn't be any more than $25. Just the Battle Droid is $25. Why do you think you're getting a vehicle with a free figure? Or Darth Maul with his speeder, I think was 60 or 65. And that was in special packaging. It was a limited release. And people were saying that it should have been $30. I'm like, what are we losing our minds here? Why are we losing our minds over anything over $25? So I honestly think that instead of HasLab, Black Series needs to just do made to order or limited releases going forward, because there's so many collectors that are honestly, for lack of better phrasing, they're ruining it for the ones that do want the HasLabs and things like that, because they're so obsessed with that sticker number. It's the wildest thing to me. I don't get it.
The Snowspeeder was the last vehicle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not wrong, and that's been symptomatic too. Before the classified series, GI Joe was having a GI Joe back during the 25th anniversary time. People were just pissed whenever it came about to like multi packs or because we used to have battle packs that had accessory pieces to them, and they were pricey. But you're getting for everything that you get, you're gonna pay a premium, not a premium. It's not even a premium. It is in tune with the pricing. If you're going to have a $10 figure and you put 5 of them in a box, it's going to be a $50, maybe $55 piece. That's just the way economics works.
Yeah. And like I said, and to Tommy's point, like, check this out, like classified, they have vehicles. They do. The Vamp.
They do.
They got the Stinger. They got not just. They got 100. The Stinger was what, $100? No,
yes,
you know what I mean.
No,
so like
$99, bro.
Yeah, 99 with
Wow.
I don't understand. Like, I just don't see why Star Wars is so combative with $100 price tag on a vehicle. You know what I mean? Like a Black Series X-Wing, a Snowspeeder. Why did Snowspeeder fail so bad? Right? Like,
Well, and what's sad about the Snowspeeder is at MSRP, what they were selling it at, Hasbro was already losing money on MSRP on the Snowspeeder, and it still went to deep clearance. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I've talked to so many people, and I can never get just a straight reason from someone why specifically when it comes to Star Wars and Black Series, people just have this aversion to anything that's not that's over the $25.
Take the backlash of the Disney era stuff, right? The stuff that they were trying to do. Like I said, Snowspeeder was the original trilogy. If you're a fan, you're a fan, and if you're a collector, you're a collector. And I don't know why it was such a disdain for like why the blacks original trilogy stuff or even sequels or prequel stuff really were peg warmers when it came to that. Like people really just shunned it. You know what I mean? And then
it's because we're old and we remember the freaking pricing when we were younger, and we can't get over the fact that our shit is expensive now. It's just the way it is.
It is. But I'm saying, like, why did G.I. Joe take off when it had some trouble out the gate too? But like, they could come out with the Fang tomorrow, and the Fang could be $90 and people will buy 3. You know
But
what I
there's
mean?
also with Star Wars, or I'm sorry, with GI Joe, a lot of the vehicles are smaller, right? Like the Trouble Bubble that I've got there, or the Fang,
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
Claw, things like that. They're going to be smaller pieces that aren't extravagant. I can count the number of Star Wars vehicles that are small on two hands, and that's about it. Everything
Yeah.
else is going to be big. Everything else is going to be
There is a
bigger.
scale problem. Yeah. But there
Yeah.
is also, like I said, there's speeders. There's
I keep
Pe-
interrupting
people-
Alex.
yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
Alex. Go ahead.
that's all right. No, people are going to bitch about anything, man.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter what it is. And here's the thing: if I think after we've gotten pretty lucky where most of the, and I use the term luck technically, where most of the HasLabs have been under about $500 or somewhere around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now here's the thing: if they did an $800 version of the AT-AT, damn straight I would be buying it.
Yeah.
But what they need to start thinking about, it'd be
Yeah.
right behind me right now.
6
Shit,
feet,
it's
10 feet. I
whole
don't
shelf. I got in my mind. I have the space put already for it.
Yeah. It's it'd be
but-
tough, but I do it.
It would be tough. There'd be some shit that have to go.
yeah, that's true. You see this wall? That's
Oh,
gone.
it'd be gone. It's a very easy thing for this, but
Like literally, he's just going to blow out that wall.
Yeah, exactly.
I would, or that, or again, I just talked to my realtor, like, hey, I need a bigger house.
Yeah.
It needs to happen. But I think with Hot Toys, because people have this thing where I've seen people bitch about like the Black Series, but yet I go to their house, they've got 10 Hot Toys. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
But the one thing Hot Toys does is there's a payment plan.
Yes,
It
payment
doesn't
plan.
hurt you all at once.
Yeah.
I think if Hasbro designed something like that, where it's like,
Depends on how
because
many
like when
pre-orders you
the
have.
HasLabs come out, it's
Wow.
just like you better have $500 waiting for you
Yeah.
somewhere extra
Yeah.
on the bank.
I-
But if they would do the Hot Toys model, I think that Star
agree,
Wars
man.
fans would not have an aggression to it like that.
I honestly 100% agree. Like, I know that if they do the smaller versions and say it got made to order, keep it like 100, 120, something like that, then you have 30 days, 40 days, then to just like HasLabs, right? You have that money. But yeah, like something that's bigger ticketed items and made to order like that, then to have a payment plan, I think works really well. And you have a non-refundable deposit, just like Hot Toys. It kind of holds your feet to the fire a little bit. And I mean, like, look, as collectors, there's room for it, right? And I know that, like, a lot of times we get to a point in collections where we start to look at those, like, all right, look, man, we're here, we got to get to here because we've already, it's time to go. It's time for an AT-AT. You know what I mean? It's like, it's time. Yeah, but
so Hal Runner Base says right here, he heard there's going to be another HasLab this year, and it's TVC again. We talked about that last time, and I am equal parts excited, and oh god, not again. So have you heard anything, Tommy, about what that might be?
No, it's honestly pretty in the dark right now. I'm assuming the speculation right now is that it's going to get revealed at San Diego Comic-Con again, just like it was last year.
Okay.
Possibly teased at Celebration at Hasbro's panel that they'll probably have, and then officially revealed at SDCC. But my guess would either be something Revenge of the Sith, or that it would be something original trilogy. That seems to be the two directions TVC is leaning into right now. Is that original trilogy and kind of that prequel stuff.
Yeah,
I think original trilogy, you're going to have it'll end up being a no-brainer situation. So if it ends up being, say, a Death Star playset, or say a Shuttle Tidarium or something like that, that's more in scale.
See, I was thinking Echo Base playset. That's what I was thinking.
Echo Base playset. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I think they've already teased it myself. And
really?
Yeah, in the most subtle way they can, and it goes back to that Mos Eisley poster that they released, and they said the poster here had the facade Mos Eisley and had the figures, right, and that land speeder I think is part of that teaser that we had teased. It's gonna be part of it there. There is the treads that go off the corner of that. Okay, yeah, so over on
anything there
there's treads off site here into that corner, but people speculate it's Sandcrawler, and I'm like, I think that's gonna be the next HasLab original trilogy Sandcrawler that's going to coincide with that image, because
That'd be cool.
they said
Wow,
this is an
cool.
image that's going to be growing, that we're going to be adding to this image, and everybody focused in on those treads in the dirt. You know what I mean? They really were like,
I like where your head's at. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think of the Mobile Command Center from G.I. Joe, which is essentially just a very large tackle box, right?
That's
right.
It's if they created, it's about the same scale too. I mean, the thing is massive for a 3 3/4 inch figure.
Yeah.
If they kept it like that and you had some sort of an opening feature like that, that would be really.
Yeah. I mean,
freaking
you can have. There's so many different playability things with the droid arms coming up. I mean, you can. It doesn't have to be remote. I mean, I won't have lights and sounds, but But the thing is, panels can come off, even if you can convert it to the Mando version of it too, like with the canopy on top.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
yeah.
The big skull, the Great Dragon skull.
Yeah, Great Dragon skull.
Yeah, I mean,
how cool would those be for stretch goals, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of a lot better than a freaking cardboard backdrop.
Yeah. I think that would be my first the HasLab and the Vintage Collection.
I've told this to Scott too. Besides the Cantina, because that's a big playset thing, but vehicles is an insta buy. I will buy Original Trilogy, Vintage Collection, HasLab. Yeah. So, let's see here.
I'm looking at the image though, and I don't see treads in the image that came with that Streets of Mos Eisley.
It's on the bottom right corner. Like there's treads in there. Homie Dam.
Oh, what's up, Homie Dam?
There's not many characters that interact with the Sandcrawler. No, but I mean, you could have the whole droids. You have all those Vintage Collection droids. You can have Uncle and Emperor, Uncle Owen, Luke, Jawas. I mean, you just have that
Mando,
scene.
Grogu.
You can even turn it around for the damaged, the stormtrooper, like the damaged, got like a damaged part of it where the stormtroopers attacked it. I mean, there's a lot of again, and then taking it further to the Mando verse, right? To that whole thing. That's just the Vintage Collection probably returned to Tatooine thing. They've been on that for about 2 years now. So,
but I mean, if it were to stray away from the Return to Tatooine, I would absolutely dig. I'm not sure if I'm sold on a Hoth playset, on a Echo based playset, because there's a lot you could do there, but at the same time, talk about very little interaction, right? I mean, in the Cantina, you had all the aliens, you had that going on, but with Echo Base you had pilots, troopers. I mean, I guess the snow troopers invaded, so but I don't know if that would hold up. But like a Death Star playset where they attack it the same way that they're attacking the Cantina, right? With it being modular, you can move things around if you want to, or a shuttle Tidarium that was to scale, something like that would be that'd be pretty awesome.
Like Doug Brentley, what's up, man? Echo based playset with before and after Empire attacks destroyed pieces. Yeah, I mean, you could have the room where the Wampa's at. You can have.
You need indoor, outdoor, right? You'd need the trench with the turrets. You need some. Landing bay. How big does it get? How many snow speeders?
Think Cantina scale, right? That would be. I think honestly, and then you can have two. You buy two of them to add on, and I mean, if they went, if they're thinking going horizontal with these play sets, right? Like with the Cantina, right? They even said, well, here's a shelf, and you could put this on there, and you can have the shelf stretch. Yeah. Then you can have something like they can engineer it in that way where it can open up, and you have the indoor, outdoor, and then also if you had the room for an enclosed playset. Since they did the Cantina, I mean, things are in the air now. Like as far as I think where their heads go, where it's no longer a playset versus a diorama. You know what I mean? Because playsets are compacted, they got like these special things, you press the button, this explodes, and that's how I think of playsets, right? The old school, playsets with stuff that's not in the movies, So when you have your Echo Bay, it would be like their version of it, but I think we're beyond that now. I think we're into like when they come out with something, it's a diorama piece, the hallway scene that
The HasLabs, according to Hal Runner here, HasLabs have been ships have been so much more successful than playsets, though. Yes, they have.
Yeah, ships. Star Wars. They need to stick with the ships, and I don't know. We'll see what the Black Series offers. I think I was taking a look at my collection. I'm like, there's a lot there. There's a lot of what we have, you know, and it's really easy to look at and go, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have that, you know. But there's also like I look at it, I go, wow, this, you know, we actually do have a lot of clones. Maybe a little too many clones. You know, but yeah, I mean, and I know, like I said, when the more Jedis come this year, when Sebulba comes this year, we're gonna have those. We're gonna get, you know, fleshed out a little bit more. Yeah. It's always good. I know that I wanted to steer the conversation into getting into like actually starting somebody who wants to start it, but I think we'll save that and we'll try to like maybe pepper that into other episodes we got. We'll have maybe do like a segment where we have tips and helpful tips on how to get into collecting, get back into collecting, or maybe you just want out of it altogether. You know, maybe, you know, there's a way of like how to sell it. You go to one of these awesome toy shows that are popping up and you get a room and you lobby swap. You know what I mean? And
you just give it to us for free. You know, that's
our PO boxes.
It'll go to a new home, a great home.
I'll treat it nice, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll treat it smoke-free home, I swear. Yeah, so interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. I can't, like I said, I actually enjoy this type of speculation and talk before we get reveals, because the reveals are fun. It's great. It's to talk about, but again, it's almost like you reveal it. I feel like I have it already because it's pre-ordered. It's coming in because a lot of times now when pre-orders come, I don't even open them. Like I forget. Like I still have Luth in the box. Like I haven't. I just remembered. Like I haven't even opened him. Holy crap! And but I bought him. I have them. You know. So yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to come out with any more Skeleton Crew figure. Oh no, I know they're coming out with SM. So
that was so recent leaks are the Mad Captain Silvo. You have Vane, Pirate Vane, and there was another one too. Probably must not have been that important, but there was another one from Skeleton Crew as well. Yeah,
awesome.
Wim's dad.
Pepper him in.
Yeah,
Wim's dad. We need Wim's dad. on a speeder bike with a
speeder bike. How about just a deluxe speed with a speeder bike? You know, like the kids on the speeder bike.
There we go. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they were able to do that, and everybody's like, "Yeah, they did it in Boba Fett." And people are like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
It's all about execution, man.
Execution. That's right.
Yep.
Time and place. No room for shiny. This is a used universe. They didn't get that memo. All right. Well, all right. Let's close it out. I think that was a good grounds for future content, and we'll see what's happening. I cannot wait for more leaks to come out and to speculate. I honestly cannot wait for my Savage Oppressed figure to actually see it and everything. And because that's probably my most anticipated figure this year so far is the Savage. And that
looks amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll have to see what we'll see if Marvel Legends comes out the gate with a price point where everybody agrees on. I think that is key. And I'm not saying that the two lines talk to each other or they do like similar things, but they have to know, hey, this can work here, maybe it can work here, you know. And
Stevie's working on both.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I know the talk has to come to, can we do this in Star Wars? Is there enough, you know? And I think if you get it out the gate with a price point that makes sense, it doesn't have to be cheap, but it doesn't have to be overly like, oh my God. Because like Scott said, whatever Marvel does, you add $10 to it because of the license, you know, stuff. And so we just have to anticipate that, you know.
Watch, it's going to happen, and it's going to be vintage collection. They're going to have build-a-figures for vintage collection, and all you guys are going to be like, yeah.
I have to get a couple. Yeah, I will, and I'll make that sound just like that too. I swear. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to kick it over to Alex Storm because SKN Network is where it's at for all your pop culture news and everything. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, we've been busy as hell, man. It's a good thing because, you know, when you're idle hands is, you know the saying. But we've last couple of weeks on Toy Box Chronicles, which is on Wednesdays, because we do live streams on Wednesdays and Fridays. But Wednesdays, Toy Box Chronicles, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We had a couple of weeks ago David Vonner, the father of Marvel Legends, was on.
Awesome interview, dude.
Last week we had toy photographer supreme Captain Bananas or Sergeant Bananas on.
Yeah.
And so this week we're having the Odd Frog Entertainment, and they're launching something called Bandito Radio, and it's basically, if you are a toy enthusiast, it is a radio station dedicated for you. If you're into toy photography, if you're into toy customization, or just collecting, there's going to be a podcast, which myself and Chet will be on one, called Action Figures Frequencies on there.
Awesome.
Some other tubers that we hear, and I'm trying to get these Starlight boys on it too. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But again, if you're just into anything, if you want to have music in the background while you're doing your toy photography, customizations, collecting, this is dedicated, and the only channel of its kind dedicated for toy enthusiasts. We're going to have them on, and that's the pre-launch night. So we're going to, before the end of the night, before the end of the episode, you will be able to have Action Figure Frequencies audio on Bandito Radio, which is on iHeart, Spotify, all the major networks.
Looking forward to that.
On our channel, SKN itself, the video portion will be for our members only. So you'll be able to see Action Figure, listen to it, but if you want to watch it, you're going to have to go into the member section over there. Then on Friday, we've been killing it with Pixel Plastic and Ink. We've had Fantastic Four, all that stuff that's coming up throughout the summer. Been a plethora of stuff for us to talk about. That's the best thing. And myself and Chet Maddox will be at Toy Atlanta. We've been asked to be guests there, which was damn near surprising.
Nice.
They asked us to be guests there. So we will be in Toy Atlanta, representing all the crews. So if anybody has any requests or any action figure kind of things, write that down, send it to me. I'll go out there and shop. Yeah, I know it's going to get expensive, but you're paying for it. Ultimately.
Exactly. Just remember, you'll be the middleman, but
but I'm interested to see what Tommy's kicking off, because there's always a video. There's always something of entertainment over at Bliss Transmission.
Yeah,
always something.
I will blame Tommy for this one though. You are responsible for this comment, Tommy. Commander Bly says maximum Admiral Holdo. Oh. Yeah. Tommy.
He just disowned me because I bought him as a belated birthday gift one of these, his favorite Star Wars character, Master Ernesto. He disowned me live on stream. So I've got lots of reviews in the works right now. I got lots of topical videos I'm working on. I'm actually working on a HasLab pitch for the Geonosis Arena Beasts for Black Series. Right. So lots of different stuff going on the channel. Really just the lead up to ICC Con is kind of my big thing in May. I got some crazy reviews coming out, like this big ass Hot Toys set.
Look at that.
Mando and the Blurg. And then also this is going to be my new channel mascot, this 12-inch Boss Nass doll.
Nice.
Look at the eyes. You said need a LASIK surgery. That's what he's saying right now. Look at that. He's such a weirdo. I'm gonna put him on the Blurg as soon as I get that reviewed, and he's gonna be doing all kinds of crazy stuff on the channel. But yeah, lots of just everything. I never stop, and that's my vice, is that I just never
consistency is key, man. Yeah, like everybody, the links are in the description below again, to check out these amazing channels and to keep the family growing here. The content's never boring. Like if you're doing your thing, if you are playing video games or you're customizing figures, have us on the background, have these, everybody on the background, especially with the radio coming in now, man, just there's no reason to go anywhere else.
That's right.
Yeah. We got Phantom Menace Dennis. He said there he is.
Boss Nass.
And then for us, of course, Wednesdays after the Shadow Nose Toy Box Chronicles, you're gonna check us out. Starlight Digest. We break down everything Star Wars proper, meaning all the Disney stuff, movies, TV shows, what have you, rumors, theories of our own. We have some cool thing. Even though there's a calm before the storm, before Andor's season 2 premieres, which is, I think we're under the 60 days and stuff like that now. So we're going to be doing some cool things leading up to it and having some fun with it. So get your weekly dose of Star Wars every Wednesday at 8 p.m. I know it's late for you East Coasters, but replay is there too. And of course, leave comments in the section below, because we're always there. We're always lurking around and reading that too. So I think that's it, right, Scott? I mean, anything else?
So. No,
we did drop an episode last Friday for Star Wars Podcast Day. Go check that out. It was a good little talk, short spurt content there for you guys to kind of get in the mood of just living Star Wars. So thank you guys, everybody in the pit. You guys were awesome. Let's see who has the last comment. Let's see who has the last word. I know there's competition.
It's the last off.
There he goes. The last off commences now. Scott?
Keep it nerdy, everybody.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.